Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul, joined by Jack Weinberger and Robert Ziggy Ziegler. Did I say at the University of Virginia on the previous?
You did not.
Might have. Oh, okay, good. Back home in California for a Thanksgiving Week 13 preview episode of the show. Appreciate everyone who's listening. If you're enjoying the content, click that like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. And the Week 12 competition came to a close.
No. Don't click that like button. Smash that like button.
Smash that like button.
Smash.
The Week 12 competition on the Pigskin Pick'em League came to a close after Monday Night Football. The winner was Hugh Pack, who had a six-way tie, but he wound up picking the best score. Total points, it was 53. It was 30-23 final score. Hugh Pack had 54 points total, one off the correct number. So he wins a free Paul Farrington Show piece of merch. If you're listening to this, Hugh Pack, I don't know who you are, but go ahead and email us at paulfarringtonshow@gmail.com or message us on Instagram, and we will get you some free merch headed your way.
Congratulations.
Well done. Very well done. If you can't watch on YouTube, you can always listen on audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate it. If you're jealous of Hugh Pack and want some merch, click the link in the description, take you to our store. You can buy all the merch you want there for a very affordable price, actually. I think we're very affordable compared to other podcasts that you see. We're not trying to, we're just trying to have fun with some shirts here. We're not trying to make a crazy profit on these. So you can check them out if you want. The power rankings. Really fun show today. We'll start with power rankings. A little bit of Thanksgiving foods, comparing them to NFL players coming up. We'll see. Ziggy said that's the stupidest segment he's ever heard in his life. We'll see if it lives up.
It's done every year, and it's terrible every year. So I can't
Maybe
wait
not
for
on this
us
show,
to do
though.
it.
Maybe not on
And
this
I
show.
also come out and say I don't have a 10 or a 9, but I am in the 8th spot.
Oh,
so
Jack only did his topping. He
I
said it was
don't
too
have
hard.
I don't have a 9 or a 10.
He said it was too hard.
I think the rest of the league stinks.
So last week, Jack started off. Thankfully, he's not starting it off this week. He went Cardinals. Ziggy goes Chargers at 9. I put the Packers at 8. Jack, Vikings at 7. Ziggy, Steelers at 6. I put the Ravens at 5. Jack goes Chiefs 4. Eagles 3 for Ziggy. I put the Bills 2. And Jack happily saw his Detroit Lions. Just going to talk about you as a Lions fan from now on.
I'm a fan of the
At
Lions
number
and the
one.
Dolphins, those two teams.
Alex really has a grip on you.
Oh, he does. The Lions bar was
Between
fun.
Auburn and the Lions, this guy, I mean, honestly, I feel like there's a little bit of a man crush going
He's
on.
got me in a full chokehold.
Yeah, completely.
And it feels pretty good.
So
I'm not as good as Ziggy having me in a chokehold, though.
Ziggy, you start off the power rankings today. Everyone knows how these work, but in case you don't, we each go one by one, starting at 10, down to 9 to 8 to 1. And we each pick a team one at a time, trying to create our best joint power rankings. And usually there's some sort of chaos, but we've been pretty good the past couple weeks. So Ziggy, who you got in the 10 spot?
Number 10, everybody knew they were going to drop this week. Maybe you think they're dropping more than they should. I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not sold on the offense. I wasn't sold on the offense going into this game. I'm not sold on the offense going out of it. The defense is good as ever, but they weren't good enough to stop Jameis Winston and Nick Chubb. I guess really the ghost of Nick Chubb from winning this game. Again, I don't think the Steelers are particularly good. I don't think they're contenders. They slot right in here at 10 when there's great confusion over who should be where.
I think
You
you
just
really screwed Jack over.
You don't know AFC North football. You can admit it.
Putting them at 10, I think, is generous. I've had them at around 16 the whole season. I haven't
You
budged.
just know AFC North football. It's okay to admit it.
Yeah, and I think this puts Jack in a tough spot now because
Yeah,
Jack
'cause that
all of a
was
sudden,
that was one of the 8 teams on my list.
now Jack has no idea what he's going to do. I'll throw him a bone here. I'll take on the more difficult selection here. So I had 4 teams that I was considering for this, guys. I was debating between, this is going to be the team that I wound up putting at 10. I was debating between the Broncos, the Seahawks, the Bucks, and the Dolphins right now. And I do really like Tampa Bay. I'm not sold on Denver. Seattle, I think is good and might be a playoff team at the end of this season, but I'm not quite sold on them either. I'm actually going to put the surging Miami Dolphins at 9 right here. And it might be aggressive. I get that. But the offense has just been so good lately. We talked a lot about it in the preview show. 29 points per game since Tua's come back. The defense is playing well. It's not the record rankings. If it were the record rankings, I would have the Seahawks there. It's the power rankings. And I'll probably drop them after they lose to Green Bay. But this is being recorded before that game. So I'm going to put the Dolphins here. And you know what? If they win in Green Bay, you prove me right. Might even go higher next week. So I got the Dolphins at 9.
I think the Dolphins should be a favorite in Green Bay.
Well, you were all over them.
I'm all over
them. Clearly, you're all over them.
So you have the Dolphins at like 4 in your power rankings, then, Jack.
No, I had them at 9 as well. Just like
where are the Packers?
That'll be revealed later.
Okay, so we go to 8 now.
8, I'm going with the Seahawks.
Okay,
NFC West leaders just slowed down a very hot Arizona team. I had the Cards in my top 10 the last 2 weeks, coming off 3 straight blowouts, looking dynamic. They go into Seattle. Seattle's defense steps up. Kobe Bryant steps up. And now these Seahawks out in the Pacific Northwest find themselves atop the NFC West. So I'm going Seattle at number 8.
I have the Seahawks at 20.
Yeah,
I mean, you're also a fool.
I am surprised. I thought that spot was going to the Chargers.
I'm out of them. After that fiasco last night, yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? They lost to the Ravens.
They got crushed.
It was a good 3 quarters of football.
You know who just beat the Ravens?
The Steelers.
Yeah, Ziggy's number 10.
Well, that's the AFC North football.
We should be top 5.
Okay, no, so Seattle's at 8. Ziggy, let's get this back on track here.
At number 7, I'm putting the Kansas City Chiefs. This is here. I have not been sold on the Chiefs offense. The defense is not exactly what it was. And before you freak out, here's what their last 4 weeks were. We beat the Raiders by 7. We go to overtime against the Bucs. We beat the Broncos by 2. We need to block a field goal in order to win that. We lose to Buffalo and we beat the Panthers by 3. In the building, everybody's acting like the season's collapsing. Now I get it. They're 10-1, but they have not played particularly good football. And honestly, I think there's really one team at the top and you can put 2 through 7 sort of however you want. I don't think there's a big difference between these teams. But Kansas City has played the least impressive, I think, of any team this 2 to 7 slot. So that's where they're going.
No, I agree. I have them at 6. I think they're fraud. So I totally agree.
I moved them down a little bit as well this week, but I did not have them quite this low. I do agree with you, though, that they have been questionable at best over the past couple
weeks. This is like when the Bengals beat the Giants. Them beating the Panthers the way they did, I'm out.
So at 6, I'm going to put the Green Bay Packers here. The win over the 49ers was great. The win over the Bears was, escaped by the skin of their teeth. But you won without Brock Purdy playing. You beat Chicago on a blocked field goal. Great wins. You take them. But I think that both of them were left some questions to be desired as well. So this upcoming game against Miami, great prove-it game for both teams. If you're the Packers and you want to compete for the NFC North, got to beat a Dolphins team, even if they're playing well right now. Dolphins, you want to get back in the playoff picture. You put yourself in this position at 5 and 6 here. Have to be able to go win on the road in cold weather games. You're going to have to do that if you want to even make a run at the playoffs at the Super Bowl anyway. So I got the Packers at 6, and they absolutely have top 5 upside over the rest of the season.
Yeah, I actually had them at 4. I know they beat a bunch of backups last week, but very impressive nonetheless. We see what Jordan Love can do when they succeed in the red zone, 38-10. I had them at number 4, so I'm fine with. Well, they'll be dropping this week for me, but I had them at 4. Number 5, I'm forced to put the Vikings just because of how this is shaping out. I had the Vikings at 8. But I mean, there's really only 5 teams left that we can.
I mean, you did control the number 8 spot.
I know I did, but then who would go here?
You probably would have put the Seahawks.
Jack's right.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, there's 5 obvious teams left. And I think out of these 5 teams, the Vikings are number 5. So I'm going to put them at number 5.
Okay. Ziggy, 4?
At number 4, I've got the Baltimore Ravens. They're coming off a nice win in Los Angeles this week. They haven't impressed me as much as the 3 teams that have been above them. And they've got sort of worse losses. But you have to be happy with how the Ravens have played to this point. Lamar Jackson's playing the best football of his career. They belong pretty high.
Yeah, I had Baltimore at 4 as well. I thought it was a great win in LA. Chargers are a tough team, and they looked like the Ravens again last night.
I had them at 7.
7? Well, you hate them too. You hate them as well. I'm going to put at number 3 the Buffalo Bills. I know, Ziggy, that you're a huge Bills guy, but the way Philadelphia has looked the past couple of weeks, I just think that they look like a machine at the moment. And Buffalo's still winning. This isn't disrespectful to Buffalo at all. It's just what I think Philly has become. And yeah, I slid them down a spot.
I had Philly, the Bills at 3 as well, because I had Philly at number 2. Look like a do like you just said, look like a well-oiled machine, but not quite as good. That's the number one.
So you had no debate about Philly versus Detroit for number one.
No, my clear 2 and 3 was Eagles-Bills.
Ziggy, did you? So you have the number one spot here. Assuming
one was obvious.
Yeah, but we all had exactly the same top 3.
Oh, okay, all right. So you also had Buffalo at 3.
Yeah, I had Buffalo at 3. Eagles at 2, and obviously the Lions at 1.
Any debate about Buffalo? I mean, about Philadelphia or Detroit for that number one spot?
No. I think those teams are closer than people realize, but it is obvious that the Lions deserve to be ranked higher. That's not even questionable.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page. Hey, look at that. Look at that. The only change that I would have made is swapping out the Chargers and Seahawks at 8. That's all I would have.
And I came into this list with 2 teams blank. And I feel like we did pretty well.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead.
I really thought you guys were going to freak out about the Chiefs at 7. I think that says something about perceptions of this team.
I haven't
bet you put the Chiefs at 7. Okay.
Or maybe 5.
So let's recap our list here. The group list was Ziggy putting the Steelers at 10. I put Miami at 9. Jack goes Seattle at 8. Back to Ziggy. Chiefs at 7. I go Packers 6. Vikings at 5 for Jack. Ziggy put the Ravens at 4. I go Bills 3. 2 for Philadelphia for Jack, and then the Lions at 1 for Ziggy. Jack, what was your top 8?
I had Lions at 1, Eagles 2, Bills 3, Packers 4, Chiefs 5, Steelers 6, Ravens 7, Vikings 8. So I'll throw in the Seahawks at 9, and I don't have a 10.
Okay. Diggy, how about you?
I was Lions, Eagles, Bills, Ravens. Then we had the Vikings, Packers, Chiefs, Dolphins, Bengals, and Commanders, rounding out that top 10.
The Bengals are back?
Oh, God.
Well, no, what it is Jack's absolutely right. There's like 7 or 8 teams that you can feel good about, and otherwise it's whoever.
No,
I'll throw the Bengals in.
There's like 4 teams who win a Super Bowl, then like 4 others who are okay, and the rest of the league sucks.
I went Detroit 1, Philly 2, Buffalo 3, Ravens 4. I had the Chiefs at 5, the Vikings at 6, Green Bay at 7, Pittsburgh at 8, the Chargers at 9, and the Dolphins at 10, with the Bucks, Seahawks, and Broncos on the outside looking in. So I think we have a pretty good list there, guys, for the most part there. All right. So let's continue. And actually, very quickly, I know that we're kind of on a little bit of a crunch today, but I wanted to bring up one quick thing, if that's okay with everyone.
Sure.
Aaron Rodgers went on the Pat McAfee show today and was talking about
it's not okay anymore.
And it was talking about, his future and how he's undecided whether or not he wants to play in 2025. But if he did play, he would want to be with the Jets. And, Woody Johnson's come out. The Jets don't seem to want Aaron Rodgers back. I'm assuming if you guys were the Jets, would you want Aaron back next year?
No, he's washed.
He's not playing well. That organization always has dysfunction. And frankly, I think they need a fresh start. New coach, new quarterback, fresh start for the Jets.
He needs a wheelchair.
Well, and it's kind of got me thinking right now, does it sort of make sense to see, and I think it kind of does make sense, that we could see Aaron Rodgers end up as a Viking next year, a la Brett Favre back in 2009. Would just hear me out.
I don't know if you want that.
I don't know if we want it either, but hear me out. Rodgers leaves the Jets. The Jets don't want him anymore. Completely makes sense. The Vikings, I think, enjoy having Sam Darnold and want him for the right price. But if someone comes out and offers him, I don't know, 45, 50, whatever, if they offer him too much money, the Vikings will not play that game. And then it goes to J.J. McCarthy. But are you ready to hand it over to J.J. McCarthy? That's where the question comes into play. You might want one more year. So if you're looking for a 1-year bridge quarterback, maybe Aaron Rodgers is the guy. Do you think he has 1 year of special Rodgers left?
Now, what's the point?
The point is,
he stinks.
The point is that in New York, you have dysfunction, you have frustration, you have fighting.
Yeah, Minnesota's no better.
And Minnesota, you have a great culture, a great head coach, they don't win Super Bowls, but they've been a winning organization. Is that enough to outrank the Rodgers instability?
Because who's causing the instability in New York? It's mostly Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
So, no, I don't want to we're trying to get a rookie quarterback up and running. I don't want to bring in Aaron Rodgers to run that. Are you kidding me?
Wasn't Brett Favre like okay on the Jets, or was he horrible too?
He was very good, and then he got injured, and it fell apart.
And then sent a picture of his, you know what?
Yep.
So that's different. I mean, Rodgers is just flat out awful now.
Rodgers, I see, in the back of my mind, and I always tend to give superstars the benefit of the doubt when it comes to them aging. I can see a world where he still has 1 year left. And I would rather just have Darnold for 1 more year. JJ becomes the quarterback, but I don't know if that's likely because someone might overpay for Darnold. I don't think they should, but teams are stupid. And
Sam Darnold's not coming back.
General managers who are on the hot seat make dumb decisions. Like, I would not give Darnold, I think, 1 year. And really, what are we, 11 games in? Way too soon to judge if 27-year-old Sam Darnold is someone you want to invest that much money in. People are ready to give it to him after week 4. I said, are you kidding me? I was talking to a couple people who were saying they give him $45 million a year. It's like, guys, come on. You have to see more than 4 games to give Sam Darnold that kind of contract. I need more than a season to give him an elite quarterback contract. And if you're looking for 1 year, I might roll the dice on Rodgers. And hey, if it doesn't work out, he's gone, and you bring in JJ.
And he's ruined the organization by being dysfunctional. JJ McCarthy is scarred. Everybody hates him. Bad vibes around the building. Yeah, no, possibly, I don't want him.
Possibly. This is maybe I'm just a little crazy.
I'd say no. I wouldn't.
I probably would avoid it.
I want no part of that guy.
I probably would avoid it, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't intrigue me a little bit. So I just wanted to bring that up. Let's go on to our Thanksgiving Day comparisons here. We have no idea how this segment's going to go. Okay, so I'm just going to name a couple of the big. We really should have prepped this segment a little bit more, but we were like, you know what? Let's make it a special episode.
We're freelancing.
Yeah, you get Thanksgiving once a year. Let's enjoy it. We actually had graphics made for last season, but never came to fruition. So here we are, making up on last year's mistakes. Let's go a couple staple foods of Thanksgiving. Let's start with the turkey. Has to be
Brock Purdy.
But what?
No, the turkey.
Is the turkey good? Is the gravy good? What's making it good? You have no idea.
No,
it's Brock Purdy.
The turkey's Jared Goff.
Oh, this is gonna be a disaster.
Oh yeah.
This is gonna.
Well, Jack, actually, I changed. It's Jared Goff.
Well, yeah,
Jared Goff is not turkey.
Listen, yes, it is. I don't believe that turkey is actually the best food on Thanksgiving. I think mashed potatoes are better. I think stuffing's better. Gravy makes it better. Turkey's really good. And it's kind of like the base and like the main thing on that plate. And it's good enough where the other things around it can kind of carry it.
No. Turkey is the signature dish of the day. It's the face of Thanksgiving.
No, it's not even the top 3 Thanksgiving food.
It's the face of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's the face of Thanksgiving. You sit around chanting like turkey in the stadium or whatever, but everybody knows it's not the turkey. It's everything else.
Like everything else makes the turkey better. Like turkey's good. Turkey's good enough, but like mashed potatoes around it, gravy on top of it, stuffing around it, mac and cheese around it. And turkey's Jared Goff.
Goff is corn.
He's not the best. No, Goff.
Jack and I totally agree.
Okay, right. He's not the best.
Turkey's Jared Goff.
Yeah. That's turkey's Jared Goff.
Okay. I'm gonna write
he's the face of football right now too.
No, he's not.
Yes, sure is. You have the whole state chanting Jared Goff at freaking Tigers games.
Let's go on here. How about we get? Oh my god.
No, Mahomes. He stinks.
How about we get some mashed potatoes? Mashed potatoes. Any thoughts on that?
That's Amon-Ra St. Brown.
So this isn't the Lions Thanksgiving segment. You got to pick someone else on a different team.
You're all good. All right. What do you think, Jack? Mashed potatoes. Do you have any idea here?
So mashed potatoes to me is actually the best Thanksgiving food. And without it, like Thanksgiving doesn't exist. Like we'll talk about turkey and all that, but mashed potatoes is like Josh Allen to me. Like I look at mashed potatoes, I run right to the mashed potato tray. I'm like, this is the best. I get a whole freaking loads and loads and loads of mashed potatoes. And you know what the thing is? You know why it's Josh Allen? Because I can have a whole plate of mashed potatoes and literally that's it. And I can be satisfied. Sometimes
it can carry an entire dish.
Yeah, like it can carry an entire dish. And like Josh Allen, sometimes you look at the Bills, it's like, oh, this team isn't great. They're not going to save Josh Allen.
And not just that, but have you ever had like terrible mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving? Once or twice I've had like they're watery, they don't taste right, they're like horribly done. So occasionally out of nowhere, you go to mashed potatoes, you think it's going to bail you out. It's just the worst thing you've ever eaten.
Yeah.
That's Josh Allen. 99% of the time he's carrying the team, but once in a while you just get what on earth is this?
Yes, it'll have its horrible games, but most of the time it's like, all right, this can carry a team very far. This can carry my plate and my stomach very far.
All right, we're all in agreement here. I'm with you guys on Josh Allen right now. All right, we'll do a few more foods here. I think we're doing a good job here right now. I'm kind of enjoying this. Let's go stuffing. Stuffing is actually probably my favorite.
I love
food
stuffing
for Thanksgiving.
Who do you have in mind? Do you have anybody in mind?
I've got the best pick in the world for stuffing.
Please, I have some. All right, go ahead.
It's Taysom Hill. Why? There's nothing like stuffing. Right? Like, what are you supposed to do with stuffing on its own? You ask stuffing to do anything. You try and just eat some stuffing. It's terrible. But a little bit of stuffing at just the right moment. And it's like an all-time role player. It fills a unique role like nobody else. There's nothing like stuffing in the entire world. But then you throw it out there. Just, why don't we have more stuffing? And then you do have more stuffing and try and start stuffing. And it's just a disaster. It can't be a real quarterback. But in its role, its unique role, all time, nothing like it.
I mean, yeah, I don't hate that at all. I was thinking stuffing's like a Zay Flowers type of person.
Man, so you guys are kind of going more into the weeds here. I'm kind of sticking with the big names here. You guys are really going.
Maybe Goff's a big name. Taysom Hill's a huge name. Everyone knows Taysom Hill.
Yeah, okay. But I'm going more like the biggest stars.
That's boring. No, if we're going to do this segment, we're going to be honest, right? The reason these segments are dumb is because you just like throw a food at them. Okay, it tastes good. It's Patrick Mahomes. No, we're identifying the real personalities here.
Okay.
Stuffing is like Zay. He'll make some big plays here and there. No, I mean, like, he needs some other guys around him. Like that main offense is Lamar and Henry, but Zay will step up big here now and there. It's like, oh, like we need him too.
Okay. I see. I was thinking along the lines of like Lamar Jackson with stuffing.
No, he'd be like
Lamar Jackson stuffing.
He'd be like a turkey kind.
Well, sort of like you said, Ziggy. Stuffing. There's really nothing else like it.
But stuffing's not that good, right? Yeah, Lamar Jackson's an MVP. Stuffing's not that good.
I think that stuffing can take over a Thanksgiving meal if done right. It is phenomenal.
That's like me with mashed potatoes, I guess.
And when you get stuffing, that is great. It is MVP level. Like it can make the entire meal. And Lamar Jackson to me, again, it's a unique flavor to it that you don't really get anywhere else. Where I think that I just love stuffing.
Stuffing cannot carry a meal. Get out of here.
I think it can. All right. So I love where this list is going for our list of these guys. Let's go a few more. What do you think of mac and cheese as a Thanksgiving meal? That never registered as Thanksgiving meal to me.
I count it.
Oh no, apparently it is. Like people love it.
I eat it. Usually
I don't.
I have a good one for green bean casserole.
Oh, okay.
I think like Aaron Rodgers is green bean casserole. It's like, oh, let me try this again. Let me try it again. Oh no, it sucks. It sucks. Maybe I'll try it one more time. Maybe it's better now. Nope, it sucks.
I've got the perfect one for mac and cheese.
Who you got?
DK Metcalf. Unbelievable athlete, right? Incredibly good at what it is, but it doesn't quite seem to. It's almost like it's in the wrong league, right? Like you see DK Metcalf, he's an incredible sprinter. You're like, look at this guy, look at what this guy could be. But you see him play for the Seahawks, and it's like, I get you sort of fit in the NFL, right? You're kind of an NFL player, but like, do you really have what it takes to be here? Shouldn't you be somewhere else? That's mac and cheese. It's great. It's incredible at what it does, but it's barely a Thanksgiving food.
That's actually one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. That's like to a T. Yeah, that's hilarious.
That is great. Two more. Gravy. To me, that's I want more gravy on my plate. Like I can't get enough of it.
Oh yeah, gravy makes
everything work.
Everything around.
I've got a great gravy.
Gravy.
Derrick Henry.
Like it.
Gravy is good on its own, no doubt about it. You need, in order for it to be unlocked, right? Derrick Henry, he can't take you to a Super Bowl on his own because he's a running back. Saquon Barkley could be a good gravy too. But I like Derrick Henry. You add him to something that's already good, and it transforms it. It makes it so much better. Look at the Ravens offense from last year to this year. Derrick Henry has been transformative. He's incredible. He's made a huge difference, and he's great on his own too. And it's just a long-time staple. Feels like it's been around forever. But gravy, sort of like Derrick Henry, was slept on for a while. Came into the league. People didn't quite know what they had. I'm putting gravy as Derrick Henry.
I think the gravy is like Patrick Mahomes. Like you look at this, look at the
It's a side piece.
like no, but you look at your dish, right? You got the mashed potatoes, so you had turkey, everything. It's nothing without putting loads and loads of gravy on top of it. I look at the Chiefs like that.
Probably like the Vikings. It's like Darnold without Justin Jefferson.
Well, it's like JJ. Yeah, it's like you got a bunch of decent pieces, and the gravy or Mahomes makes this what it is.
Last one here. Last one. Pumpkin pie.
That's like it's a sweet dessert. Like you're already pretty full, and then there's always some room for dessert. You have a couple bites, then you're feeling a little bit sick. Some of that's like Najee Harris. You'll see him bust off a couple nice runs, and you're kind of like, oh, all right, I have some room for that. Like maybe you'll give him another chance, go back, have another bite. Then he gets stuff to the line. It's like, oh, like this might have been a little too much. It's like he's decent, kind of sweet, but not that satisfying when you're full. But then if you're still hungry, it's like, all right, I can handle this a little bit. He's like Najee.
But no, for me, it's Christian Watson. Why? I love pumpkin pie. It's one of my favorites when it's out there. I really enjoy it. But it's never around at Thanksgiving dinner. It's 9 times out of 10 I show up. I'm not going to make it myself. But it's never present. It's never actually at the table. When it's there, I love it. I'll go for pumpkin pie every time. I'll be satisfied. It's a huge threat. But if you're not present, you can't be the center of the Thanksgiving meal. Pumpkin pie it's never there for me. It's never around. It's always apple pie or cobbler or whatever.
Apple pie could be like a Jordan Love.
Apple pie's good, yeah.
He shows up.
Apple pie is Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. All right, there you have it. The wild Thanksgiving segment. I think we started off real strong, hit a little lull, and then got back going towards the end there.
That's the best we could have done.
All right. Okay, so Ziggy had to go right before game picks, so it's just me and Jack here to bring it home. We'll start with the Bears at the Lions on Thanksgiving. Detroit 10.5-point favorite.
Probably lose a lot of viewers here with no Ziggy, but we'll do the best we can. I got Detroit winning and covering pretty big. Haven't won a Thanksgiving game, 7 years in a row now? That's it changes. So I got the Detroit.
Especially after the ass whooping from Green Bay last year.
Yeah, I got Detroit pretty big. I'm saying 31-13 Detroit.
31-13. Is that so? That game could wind up being unwatchable. The Giants Cowboys is unwatchable.
Yeah.
Who do you got in that one?
Cowboys is their home, but I don't.
I think I doubt. Yeah, I doubt too. Is DeVito starting? I
believe it's DeVito. I mean, Rush is probably better than DeVito is, so I'm going to go with Dallas.
The Giants right now, I think, are the worst team in football.
Yeah, I'd probably agree.
I think they're the worst team in the league. The Dolphins at Green Bay. You clearly
I got the Dolphins.
Going Miami.
Too much offense for Green Bay to stop.
I've got Green Bay in this one on Thursday night. The Raiders at the Chiefs. Kansas City 12.5-point favorite.
The Chiefs.
Chiefs cover?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't bet the Raiders.
I don't think they cover, but I think they win.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs have been a little shaky in this game. Remember last year?
It's actually a lot of points now for the Chiefs.
When the Raiders went into Kansas City and won that game.
It's a lot of points for the Chiefs to lie.
Chargers are 1.5-point road favorites at the Falcons.
I like the Chargers. I'm not high in the Falcons right now. Chargers off a loss. I like the Chargers.
Chargers coming off a loss. I think this is a weird spot, though, where everyone's starting to hype up the Chargers and everyone's stopping their conversations about the Falcons being a contender. I think in Atlanta, it's a bounce back for the Falcons and Kirk Cousins, and they win this game. I actually see this as one of those weird ones where normally I'd pick the Chargers, but just from the way both teams are trending, and the way people are talking about both teams, I see Atlanta coming out.
You're going with Captain Kirk.
That's probably really what it is. The Colts are 2.5-point favorites going to the Patriots.
Actually, I like the Pats here, actually. Drake May off a beating, sacked 4 times last week, shut out with a 31-0 in Miami. 31.
It was bad, yeah.
It was bad.
They scored late.
I got the Pats at home.
Remember, I have the Colts going on a playoff push here, they have to win this game to get in. The Texans, 4.5-point favorites at the Jaguars. We're both going Texans.
Go the Texans, yeah.
The Seahawks, 1.5-point favorites at the Jets.
Seahawks. I won't pick the Jets again the rest of the year.
I'm close to picking the Jets, but I'm going with Seattle in this one. Steelers go to the Bengals. Cincinnati's a 2.5-point favorite.
The Steelers.
Yeah, see, North games are weird. So you're going
Steelers.
I'm going Bengals in this one. I think this is if the Bengals lose this game, they're basically done. It's a must win.
They'll be done.
It's a big one for the Steelers too, though, Jack, because that schedule's so hard. Getting a win in Cincinnati, I think, sets them back on the right path here. Where if you lose to Cleveland and then the Bengals back to back, I could see it starting to snowball. So big one for both teams. The Titans go to the Commanders. I got Washington.
Yeah, Titans pick up a big win. Division rival against Houston last week. Commanders off a tough loss. I got Washington.
The Cardinals go to the Vikings. The Vikings 3.5-point favorites in a battle of two NFC potential playoff teams.
I like Minnesota. I don't really pick against Minnesota much in that dome, so I got the Vikings.
We normally play the Cardinals in Minnesota in weird games where we'll jump out to a huge lead. Kyler will come storming back, and then we'll sack him on like the 50-yard line when he's driving late. I've seen it at least once, and I feel like I've seen it multiple times. I think that's what happens again. The Vikings win by 4, so they do cover. The Bucks at the Panthers. Again, Carolina's playing better. Bryce Young is playing better.
They are. He is. I think it took a lot out of it. I think the Chiefs was a Super Bowl-like game for them. Took a lot out of them. Battled hard, wire to wire. But Tampa fighting for a playoff spot, fighting for the division.
Tampa's good, and they have an easy schedule.
I got the Bucks.
You had them winning the division, didn't you?
I did.
I got the Bucks too. The Rams are 3-point favorites at the Saints in an NFC showdown.
Ram it all night long.
Yeah, ram it all night long.
I got the Rams.
They need this for their playoff pushes.
The Saints are also horrible.
I'm completely with you. The game of the week, Sunday, 4:25. Eagles go to the Ravens. I mean, this will be fun. 3-point favorites for Baltimore.
Yeah, I got I think the Birds win this game.
Nice. Good prediction.
I got the
Good
Birds.
prediction. I'm going, you mean the Eagles, right?
I think the Birds.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, I think the Eagles go on the road and win this game.
I'm going Baltimore. In that building,
It's a very biased pick for me.
Yeah. Well, remember what Baltimore did to Buffalo in that building?
Yes.
I'm just thinking. I would also look what happened against the Raiders, but I think Baltimore. Both these teams are so physical, and the Eagles' defense has been really good lately. That I think they're actually the better team. But being in Baltimore, I think Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry are going to be a bit too much with the crowd behind them. It's a test though for this Ravens defense that's been shaky. I can see a world where Philadelphia comes in, and the way they've been playing, they just win convincingly. I'm going to go Baltimore though. The 49ers go to the Bills. Buffalo is 6.5-point home favorite. Must win for San Francisco.
Yeah, it is. But is Purdy back? Are those guys back?
Purdy, that line makes me think that Purdy's out.
He's out.
But I haven't seen anything convincing. Let me just really quickly take a look here.
So, I would have. There's nothing that leads me to believe the Niners will go and win this game on the road. I'm going to take Buffalo.
Doesn't look good on Purdy right now. Doesn't look good.
They just had a bye after Kansas City, right? Time to celebrate that win.
They had a bye last week. Yep.
Get back together. I got Buffalo at home.
Me too. I got Buffalo as well. Then the Browns go to Denver on Monday Night Football. I got the Broncos. All right. That leads us into the Jack Cap of the week.
That's the final one. How sad is that?
Is it? Does it have to be?
Well, I guess it doesn't have to be, but final one of the regular season, maybe. So last week, big win with Auburn. Got to storm the field.
That was sick.
They beat Texas A&M quadruple overtime. I was on the field. It was a great time. What was funny, we went out afterwards, after that Auburn game, went out to a bar and taking some shots. We were celebrating. And I met the nicest group of people. And they weren't Auburn fans. They were Texas A&M fans. There's a family of 5 people. And we were taking shots. They were buying us drinks. We were having a good time. And all of a sudden, I was an Auburn fan like hours prior. Then I was shouting back and forth with them. Gig 'em. Gig 'em. Gig 'em. And I told them, looked right in the eye, and said, you know what, guys? I think next week you guys will beat the Texas Longhorns. And I'm sticking to that. So I got Texas A&M because of those good people I saw down in Auburn. Gig 'em. This is for you guys. Texas A&M, I don't want the points. I want outright. They're a 2-1 home dog against Texas. The right to go to the SEC championship. Give me Texas A&M on the money line.
Wow. Love it.
Home with the 12th man.
They haven't played for a while, have they?
No, it's been a long time.
And if A&M wins, they go to the championship game against Georgia.
Yeah. Texas hasn't played a team in the SEC with a record above 500
other than Georgia
on the road.
Right. Like all year, really, other than Georgia.
Yeah. So I think they get stomped by A&M.
Wow.
Flat out stomped.
I love it. There you have it. The Week 13 preview. A little Thanksgiving talk. A little bit of power ranking, some college football. Can't get better than that. Hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving. We'll be back probably for a Packers-Dolphins reaction on Thursday night. But if not, hope everyone has a great time with their families, and we'll see you on Sunday.